Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the lecture of ICE engine fuel and lubricants. Today's we will discuss about engine emission and control. In previous lecture we have discussed lots of things that what is emissions, what are the harmful sources of emissions and why it comes out, the reasons behind the emissions, why it is governed, all these things we have discussed, and some emissions we have discussed that because we all know that the emissions, some are regulated, some are non regulated. So, we have discussed nitrogen oxide as a emission and what are the effect of different operating variables on the on nitrogen oxide emissions. So, in this lecture we will cover, first of all we will revise some emissions also, and we will cover in this lecture the remaining emissions, carbon monoxide formation, particulate emissions and methods of controlling emissions. So, in the previous lecture we have discussed also the hydrocarbon emissions mechanism, how it is formed, and in this lecture we will discuss the effect of air fuel ratio and the reasons of the formation of hydrocarbon emission mechanism. So, the reduction of cool metal surface, that is surface to volume ratio, reduces the hydrocarbon emission. If we properly design our combustion chamber, then lots of things can be sought out, means you can control the emissions, because our aim is to enhance the combustion efficiency, and this is possible only by proper designing of your engine systems, mainly the combustion chamber. So, the reduction of cool metal surface, because we know that there is always engine is always because of the metallurgical condition, they are exposed to some cooling technology, either that is air cooled or it may be water cooled because of the metallurgical condition. So, if this cooling becomes higher than desired value, then there will be some formation of cooled metal surface. Because of the cool metal surface, in that pockets we are not able to combust our fuel. So, as a result the surface to volume ratio gets disturbed, it is increased, and because of increasing that, the hydrocarbons in those nearby pockets are not able to burn with the air. So, the result is tailpipe emissions, hydrogen carbon emissions is increased. So, exhaust emission are greatly affected by the air fuel ratio also, its ignition timing and design of engine. These resulted due to incomplete combustion, or you can say the combustion efficiency is less, then it resulted more. The pattern of hydrocarbon emissions is closely related to many design and operating variables. One of that variables air fuel ratio. You can see in the slide, in the diagram, that the pattern of hydrocarbon emission and other emissions is shown in this diagram. So, two of the important design variables are induction system design and combustion chamber design. Proper induction, if the induction system is that part from where the fuel or the air fuel either the air fuel mixture in case of SI engine or air is coming into the combustion chamber in case of CI engine. So, that air flow should be proper, and we have discussed all these things in the combustion chamber design of unit 3 and unit 2 for SI engine and CI engine. So, swirl or these we need some swirl and some irregularities in the air fuels, hindrance free air flow there should be there. So, all these things we have discussed, different types of combustion chambers we have discussed there. So, these are the two important design variables are induction system and combustion chamber design. Main operating variables are air fuel ratio, speed means RPM of the engine, and load and mode of operation. Load means either that engine is maybe stationary or maybe automobile. If it is at its top load, means full load, or it is at the part load or zero load. So, in engine the load can be varied from 0 to full load, and similarly the RPM in case of automobile engine, these are variable. The engines are variable, they are a variable RPM engine, and the RPM can vary as per the size of the engine, maybe 1000 to 3000 RPM engine. So, if it is engine is running at lower RPM, the emissions picture will be different, and if it is running at higher RPM, the emission picture will be different. So, engine speed, air fuel ratio, and mode of operation, either that in which mode that is working, either for stationary or for automobile sector, or at where it is installed, it depends on that. So, mode of operation and maintenance is also an important. Suppose your engine is continuously running and there is no maintenance, then there will be suppose you are not able to replace air filters, you are using your air filter more than the required time its life, then definitely the air supply will be lesser as compared to the required. So, it affects the emissions. So, maintenance is the major issue for these emissions. You can see here that then exhaust emission we have discussed, you can control the emissions with the help, either you modify the engine or treating the exhaust gases, and either you go for the fuel modification. So, either the retrofitting of the engine or the fuel modification we needed, and the second or the we are using the current technology, then the expensive technology is there, you can treat the exhaust gases. In the coming lecture we will discuss the different treatment for exhaust gases. So, the high local concentration of hydrocarbon in the mixture contributes to high hydrocarbon exhaust from the engine, especially in the diesel engine, because the combustion in CI engine takes place in localized way. So, somewhere is the combustion efficiency is higher because it works on the principle of auto ignition. So, somewhere is it is higher, but at some place the fuel is there, but there is no availability of the oxygen. So, that fuel will go into the tailpipe. So, there will be higher hydrocarbon emission more for that condition. So, lower compression ratio, higher stroke to bore ratio, larger displacement per cylinder and fewer cylinders all lower the surface to volume ratio and hence the hydrocarbon. So, the remedy for the hydrocarbon is to design these parameters we have told you, and you can see the picture which shows the variation of different emissions as with respect to air fuel ratio, which is one of the major parameter to control its emission. So, engine emission control is, you can see through this the variable increased hydrocarbon emissions, air fuel, if we increase the air fuel ratio, hydrocarbon concentration increases, carbon monoxide concentration increases and NOx increases. We are omitting these because these are regulated, these are unregulated. So, load and speed, spark, retard means you are retarding the spark near the TDC, sparking at near the TDC, and the exhaust back pressure is also a parameter. If we increase the exhaust back pressure by designing proper tail stroke or exhaust system, you can achieve this. So, if we if this exhaust back pressure increase, hydrocarbon emission will be reduced, no effect on carbon monoxide, NOx will be reduced. Intake manifold design also affect the NOx emissions. These are the carbon deposits, combustion chamber deposits. If there are some combustion chamber deposits, so they form some hindrance in the combustion. So, hydrocarbon emissions increase, NOx increases because carbon these combustion chamber deposits having very high temperature, or this is restriction for the NOx. In the surface to volume ratio, if you increase the surface to volume ratio, which is not desirable, this hydrocarbon emission increases. So, the hydrocarbon emission concentration depends upon the surface to volume ratio. So, it is increased. combustion chamber area effects, stroke and bore area, we have discussed it, displacement in cylinder, compression ratio, if we, you know that what is compression ratio, volume before compression to the ratio of volume after compression. If you increase the compression ratio, the hydrocarbon emissions will be higher as well as the NOx emissions will be higher. Similarly, the air injection, if we increase the air injection, then sufficient oxygen will be there. So, the hydrocarbon emission will be lower, and because of the more air, the fuel will be leaner, and then there will be NOx emissions will be also lesser, and carbon monoxide emission will be there because more oxygen is there. So, it can be converted into carbon dioxide. So, fuel injection effects is also there, and coolant temperature. So, if you increase the coolant temperature, then hydrocarbon emissions decreases, carbon monoxide decreases, but NOx emissions are increased. Now, the treatment process, we will discuss it all these in the afterburner exhaust manifold reactor to reduce all this hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide NOx emissions. So, you can see the engine design characteristics for low emissions. From here you can see the air fuel ratio should be in this range. Ignition timing effect, if we retard, the hydrocarbon emission will be lesser, NOx will be lesser. So, manifold depression, air inlet temperature, coolant temperature, we have discussed all these things, compression ratio, surface to volume ratio, exhaust temperature, combustion chamber deposits, valve overlap. Valve overlap is that period for which both the valves are open, inlet valve is open and exhaust valve is open. So, valve overlap period also if we reduce the valve low emissions, for low emissions if we reduce the valve overlap, then the hydrocarbon emissions is lesser. Now, the methods of controlling emissions, these emissions you can see we have already discussed controlling the equivalence ratio. So, of stoichiometric combustion, low NOx burners we can use, keeps temperature down and dissipates heat quickly. Over fire air keeps mixture fuel rich and completes combustion process using air injection nozzles. Burners out of services operates alternate burners in combustion zone as fuel rich, and air only. So, the aim behind all this type of modification is to reduce the peak temperature of the flame zone. So, this diagram is for the open type of flame generation, just like in gas stoves. So, we can replace the burners, we can replace all these things, but the aim is to reduce the peak temperature. There is peak temperature is reduced, NOx emissions will be reduced, and this is the diagram for the one of the technique which is used to control the NOx. We have discussed how NOx generated and what is photochemical smoke, but its control is necessary. So, ammonia injection system spray SCR technology in discuss will in the coming lecture, and another technique is EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, is nothing but the aim is to reduce the temperature of the combustion chamber. So, what we do, we the exhaust coming from the engine is recirculated to the, it is connected to the intake manifold of the engine. So, as per your demand, you can see that it is EGR valve, diesel exhaust is coming, and the some is EGR exhaust gases are trapped here, and they are EGR coolers are here, some temperature, because the temperature of exhaust is very high. So, we reduce that temperature with some using some fins arrangement, engine cooling. Then this somewhat cooler gases, exhaust gases are further mixed in the intake manifold. This is the intake manifold, intercooler, and this is again feed to the diesel. So, the purpose of it to dilute the supply of air, so that the engine cannot be able to achieve the highest temperature. If it is not able to achieve the peak temperature, then NOx emission automatically is reduced. So, engine was fast burn combustion chamber can tolerate a greater amount of EGR. Advantages of EGR: reduced NOx, potential reduction of throttle losses, on spark ignite engines at part load, improved engine life through reduced cylinder temperature, particularly exhaust valve life. Now, to come to the another formation of carbon monoxide formation. You all know that what is carbon monoxide. So, carbon monoxide is the oxide of carbon, it is odorless gas, it very harmful gas, poisonous gas. So, carbon monoxide only in engine exhaust, it is found only in the source is only the tailpipe. It is product of, why it is produced? Because of the incomplete combustion. You can see the trend of carbon monoxide with respect to the equivalence ratio. So, as equivalence ratio is we are increasing, the carbon monoxide formation is reduces. You can see from this diagram that it is coming down here. So, the carbon monoxide is not desirable at all. Theoretically, the gasoline engine exhaust can be made free of carbon monoxide by operating it at air fuel mixture ratio greater than 16. If we are able to run our engine at higher air fuel ratio, means near about 16, you can see from here at 16 carbon monoxide emission, because we cannot go for much lower, otherwise there will be some power loss of the engine will not be able to function according to its efficiency and power. So, this is the limitation for the carbon reducing the carbon monoxide emissions. So, the presence of carbon monoxide increases in idle range and decreases with the speed. In passenger cars, CO percentage has been found to be as high as 7% with rich mixture and 1.25% with near and stoichiometric mixture. So, carbon monoxide emissions are higher when the engine is idling and reach a minimum value during deceleration. Means if you are talking about the automobile engine and you are decelerating your engine, the carbon monoxide will be lesser, because the engine, if you idle, if you reduces its deceleration, there is some load is lesser on the engine, it feels some lesser load. So, the carbon monoxide emission in the exhaust will be lesser. So, carbon monoxide formation, you can see it is a colorless odorless gas that is very stable, but a poisonous gas. It is a product of the incomplete combustion of carbon containing compounds. When there is not enough oxygen to convert all carbon to carbon oxide, some fuel does not get burned, ends up as carbon monoxide. So, it is the intermediate combustion between from carbon to carbon dioxide. So, if higher the carbon monoxide emissions from the engine, it means you need to maintain it or you need to redesign it, because we are not able to find the carbon dioxide or complete combustion, because carbon dioxide emission means it is the representation of complete combustion, and complete combustion is representation of the higher thermal efficiency of the engine as well as its power. So, maximum CO is generated when an engine runs at rich mixture. So, if you burn, you can see from here that if you are if you increasing the equivalence ratio beyond 1.2, the CO emissions is increasing, means you have to run your engine not at very rich mixture, which is found at the time of the starting of the engine, as well as at you go for the uphill conditions also. So, carbon monoxide formation, rich mixture is required during starting or when accelerating under load. The fuel air mixture is often over rich and temperature is relatively low, which results in incomplete combustion. The exhaust of SI engine will be about 0.2% to 5% CO. Transportation sources are large contributors to CO emission, with fuel combustion according for about 6% of the CO emission. The basic summary of this slide is that the CO emission in case of petrol engine is somewhere lesser, but in case of diesel engine it has, because transportation sources means they are all based upon the diesel fuel. So, if we are operating your engine on diesel, then definitely you know that combustion of diesel is auto ignition, means there is no device which helps you to combust all the fuel inside the combustion chamber. So, it depends on only on that proper design of all the engine components and also proper injection of the fuel with the proper pattern. So, if any parameter is disturbed, there will be definitely combustion efficiency will go down. If combustion efficiency will go down, the CO emission will be increased. But in case of we talk about the petrol engine, CO emissions are there. We cannot neglect CO emission, but there are some very less as compared to diesel engine of the same capacity. Why it is so? Because in petrol engine or SI engine, we use the pre-carbureted engine in the combustion chamber. There is no device required to mix air fuel mixture in the cylinder. So, as per your need, as per the operating condition, already pre-mixed fuel, either it is with the help of carburetor, or in case of cars or high speed car with the help of some MPFI technology, it is a correct amount of fuel as per the operating condition is entered in the combustion chamber, and there as a result the combustion efficiency is higher as compared to the diesel engine. The result is that carbon monoxide formation is lesser in petrol engine as compared to diesel engine. You can see the pathophysiology of the harmful effect of the CO. CO binds to your hemoglobin, it is having very high affinity for the oxygen, and it creates carboxyhemoglobin, and you can see the structure, how it enters through your lungs, and you cannot feel it because it is odorless gas. So, it is very harmful, silent killer, and it entered into your blood cells and forms this type of benzene structure called carboxyhemoglobin, and reduces total oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. And the clinical presentations of these effects are, if it is highly non-specific and low levels of, if you are inhaling low levels of carbon monoxide, you feel some headache, nausea or vomiting, lethargicness and confusion. Confusion means it affects your neurology also. Now, if it is inhaled at moderate levels, the signs are these are the some angina, dyspnea, syncope, these are some effects on your body. Critical exposure is seizures, you can go in coma, hypotension, and maybe death also if you are continuously inhale it CO, because it combined with your hemoglobin forming benzene structure. So, highly non-specific and having high suspicion in winter months or high risk population. So, these are the particulate emission. We know that particulate emissions are the some emissions which comes out in the diesel engine, and the exhaust of CI engine contains solid soot carbon particles. There are some benzene type of structure, agglomerant types, very sticky type structure is there, and the particulates are generated in the fuel rich zones within the cylinder during the combustion. The formation of soot particles in an engine in the cylinder is due to the incomplete combustion of hydrocarbons under mixture rich and high temperature condition. Soot particles are clustered solid carbon sphere. The spheres have diameter from 9 to nanometer to 90 nanometer, and these particulate emissions are macroscopic particles, have impacts on climate, precipitation, it affects adversely on human health in different ways during direct inhalation, and it varies in the different size. The PM10, PM2.5, PM10 is the particle having size 10 micrometer fine particle and designated as PM10, and PM2.5 with a diameter of 2.5 micrometer, and these are called ultra fine particles and soot. Particulates are the most harmful form of air pollution due to their ability to penetrate deep into the lungs, blood streams, brain, causing health problems including heart attacks, respiratory diseases and premature deaths. So, complicated blend of solid liquid particles results in particulate matter, and these particulate matter emissions are highly regulated in most industrialized countries. Due to environment concern, most industries are required to operate some kind of dust collection system to control the particulate emissions. They are some cyclone separators, basically they are employed in the thermal power plants where describers to before the final emission comes out from the exhaust, because the source of particulate is automobile as well as the thermal power plants. So, some electrostatic filters and some collectors, filter black electrostatic precipitators, they are employed in the exhaust system to removing these fabric filters, bag houses, all these things are employed to remove these particulate emissions which are very fine, or you a person can easily inhale it. And now the diesel smoke in another problem, this is visible products of combustion due to poor combustion, and it originates similarly like particulate matter, rich fuel mixture zone, and the amount of soot formed depends upon local fuel air ratio, because in diesel engine the local air fuel ratio plays a very important role. It may be blue, white smoke, black smoke also. So, you can see the cause of smoke, injection system and its pattern, fuel quality, more volatile fuels gives less smoke than heavier fuels of similar cetane number. Cetane number is the representation of combustion quality of the diesel engine fuel, and its load on the engine type, its RPM, equivalence ratio, maintenance, all these things affect the smoke formation. You can see the diagram from this, that is smoke density in milligram per meter square, and this is for turbocharged engine and naturally aspirated, Na for naturally aspirated, Tc for turbocharged engine. So, this pattern is like this for smoke, and this smoke may be black smoke, blue smoke, white smoke, and why it is produced to depends upon your different conditions. So, diesel smokes are controlled with the help of, it is measured with the help of smoke meter, and these are the some techniques with the help of that we can able to control the smoke, and these are the derating, maintenance, proper maintenance. Smoke suppressant additives are also added to avoid the soot formation if there is proper combustion. Then we add some additives, some catalytic mufflers we add, and the fumigation technologies are there. You can see that effects of fumigation technologies. So, this is the all about in this lecture. We have covered in this lecture lots of emissions. In next lecture we will see different techniques for controlling the emissions. Thank you so much.